What's up guys, I'm back with another project and today we're building a DIY light for our GoPro cameras. So this is a little bit more of an intensive project. There's going to be a little bit of soldering involved. So if you don't know how to do that, get some help, watch some videos online and just be safe because you can really hurt yourself when you're doing this. But let's get into what we're going to be using. So first off, we've got a battery pack here. So this is a battery pack that holds 8 AA batteries for a total of 12 volts. I need 12 volts because the LED strip that I'm using needs 12 volts. So I've got this LED strip here that's a 5x3 LED little box light, and we're going to be mounting this just underneath our GoPro camera, probably on the chest mount. So we're going to give that a shot and we'll look at that afterwards. But this thing, once we get the wiring all hooked up, we can basically mount this thing to anything we want beside our GoPro camera. And then we're going to need a connector so we can unplug and plug in the LED strip from the battery pack, some hookups for that, some hookup wire, and then we just need a soldering iron. So let's get into it and build this thing. So our first step is going to be cut off the clip that the LED bar came with and replace it with our own, as I was unable to find the other end of this plug. So we'll do that, and then it's just a matter of wiring on the 2 internal parts of the plug and then sliding the outer part of them on. And then we're going to do the same thing with the end of the power battery bank cable. So we're going to first connect on some longer wires, we'll do that soldering, and then if we were smart, we'd have heat shrink at this point to cover them up. And then on the other end of those wires, which is attached, we'll attach the ends of the plug. So we'll start again with the 2 internal parts, followed by the outer part being slid over the top. And then it's just a matter of installing our batteries, and with that, the DIY light is complete. We can see we can plug it in and it works just like that. Our little plug here is also going to be our power switch. We could have wired an inline power switch in if we wanted, but I didn't really see the point of doing that, as this just kept everything cleaner and more simple. Now, this is a very rudimentary light. Of course, it's not going to be waterproof. We've got a big battery bank we have to carry around with us, and there's lots of little things you could do to beautify this. You could run some nice wire cabling, maybe some sleeving over top of this cable. You could maybe find a better battery bank. Maybe you could find a lower power LED bar like this. Maybe you could find a 5-watt one and then a 5-watt recharge or a 5-volt rechargeable battery, something like that to keep the size down. But in my case, it's a real rough and ready project. So it's a big battery bank and it's this little nice LED light bar that throws a pretty even light. Now we'll talk about how we can actually attach this to our GoPro setup. So the first one we're going to talk about is directly on to a chest mount. So I've got a chest mount here. You can see our GoPro camera would go on like this. So the very obvious spot here would be that we could just throw this light bar using the sticky back right underneath where the camera goes. And this would give us a nice little bit of light being thrown onto whatever we were recording with our GoPro camera, especially if we were shooting at night. Now, this light isn't going to throw that far. It's not going to be that powerful at night. But again, depending on the kind of LEDs you buy for your project, you can basically customize this to fit any need. Now, how I'm planning to attach it is actually using a long extension bar. So I'm going to peel off the sticky back that mine came with. If yours doesn't have sticky back, that's all right. You can just use some 3M VHB adhesive or any kind of double-sided sticky tape. And then I'm going to mount that extension bar to the bottom of my GoPro camera. And then I'm going to take my light bar and stick it directly onto this extension arm. Now, why this is cool is because I basically just created a GoPro attachment that has the LED built into it. So now I can take this bottom piece of this extension bar and attach it to my normal mounts, which means that I now have this light bar going wherever my GoPro camera goes in this very small compact unit. If I want to throw this onto a handle, I can throw this whole setup onto a handle and take it anywhere I want to go, or even onto a GoPro pole. Guys, we're going to finish this review outside at night so you can get a good look at how much light this throws when it's pitch black out. Of course, don't expect this to be nearly as good as the Nog light that we looked at the other week. It's not nearly as powerful. It's a really small little LED bar, but it is just kind of showing you the creativity and the amount of fun you can have with little projects like this to get a little bit more versatility out of your GoPro camera. To conclude our DIY light video, we've come outside, and the reason for that is because there's no better way to test a light than actually testing a light outside when it's dark out. So it's now midnight and it is pitch black out here. You can't see a thing, and I'm really impressed with the amount of light this light can throw, especially at a short distance. So once you get farther away from this, it starts to drop off, and I think that's kind of because the light it throws is a really, really wide light. So what you notice is that despite me being pretty close to this, the light is pretty evenly spread out all over my face, and it's kind of a nice light for lighting something like this up. It's a nice interview light. It does throw a nice wide light. As soon as I back up a little bit here, you'll see that it kind of drops off and spreads out a lot, but as long as I'm within about an arm length of the camera here, it does do a fairly good job of lighting up my face for this kind of interview style video. Some things to keep in mind, of course, it is raining right now, and this light's probably not really that great for raining situations like this because, well, it does have kind of some pretty ghetto setup and some wires, and it's not waterproof in any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, it's not a great light, but for 20 bucks, if you want to be able to take something outside when it's nice out and you want to be able to do interview style videos like this, it is a pretty great investment, and it's a way cheaper than some of the other more professional options on the market. Guys, this is another DIY video. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe, check out my channel for lots more videos, and like the video. There's a playlist down below, which is all of the DIY projects. You can check that out until the next one of these comes out, and I promise there will be more of these. They're not going to take as long to get out as they did before. There was about a 3-month break there when I didn't do any. That's not going to happen again. The DIY projects are going to be coming, so make sure you subscribed and check back for when those happen. Guys, until next time, thank you for watching.